Okay. I believe this is part 22. Day 2. Okay. Paid yet for tonight, but I have plenty of money. I'm waiting until Smoker gets home, which is 21.
The trash container stands.
I also just opened the door for the weasel person that Everett wanted me to. So I'll be reporting back to him about that tomorrow. I'm probably gonna go back in, find the smoker's door, hang out in front of it, and read my ledger. Each of the ledger stories takes like 30 minutes. That will put me past 21. Okay, so his door's up there. Oh, 75 cents. Those refill? More bottles back there? Okay. So, last time I got the ledger of failure and hatred.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. Arson, petty theft, spout. You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself. It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
Square bullet hole murders.
It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
But
That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead.
a sequence killer?
Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? One day you may still catch the man with the square gun. Not much has changed.
Okay. Well,
This door is made of metal.
I need one more minute to pass. Just making me wonder if I need to leave the area and come back in order to like move something along or something.
This door is made. No one.
We should return in the evening, at 9 p.m. the earliest.
Okay, apparently it just appears at 9 p.m.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from his cigarette.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds.
We got your hint. Found the key right under that stone.
Beautiful.
He replies, smiling. As he looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
That's what I'm aiming for, yes. Honestly, I'm just trying not to screw anything up. I'm not going to make things just right. I'm going to make them spectacular. Ignored his question. I was hoping to talk to a possible witness. Your balcony overlooks the murder scene. That's what I'm aiming for, yes.
Beautiful.
He says again. A nearby street lamp casts shadows on his chin, drawing out the slender cheekbones.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
He nods towards door 28. By the way, I'm really digging the view here. Point to the city skyline. Why would I want to meet your friend? Very well, I'll talk to him, but first I want to talk to you. I have so many questions. By the way, I'm really digging the view here.
Mm-hmm. That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it?
He looks away, his cigarette end glowing in the dark.
Wait. Suddenly you are digging things?
The lieutenant whispers to you, shaking his head. Why would I want to meet your friend?
Trust me, you do.
Okay. Very well. I'll talk to him, but first I want to talk to you. I have so many questions.
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
Interesting.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush.
Besides, I've got to run.
Run where?
To the city. It's a beautiful night.
Gestures oddly towards distant motorways. Only if you promise that we'll talk again. It's important.
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not tonight.
The smoker assures you, brushing his hand through the hair.
Take care, all right?
He says with another disarming smile before slipping off into the night.
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
He's always leaving. Why is he always leaving, Kim?
Who knows, detective? It's a mystery.
He says, turning his face away from you. There's something so different about him that I can't put my finger on.
Different, of course.
His shirt. Why is his shirt always unbuttoned? Such a good listener. I like talking to him. Something so mysterious about the way he talks and moves. Smells so good. Why on earth does he smell so good? Something so mysterious about the way he talks and moves.
Something so mysterious about the way he talks.
The lieutenant squints his eyes, trying to hold back laughter. Very mysterious.
Very. Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
He nods at the apartment door before you. Won't be here later. Okay. I have 3 boring cup and no apocalypse club cup. I still don't officially know my name. Which is interesting. Quarterly Business Magazine. An old photo of the same apartment, dated year '01. Governmental issues take me all over Revachol, as you can see. Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. Hardy Dragon's silk robe. I hope stealing isn't bad. An empty ashtray. Dishes soaked up in a pot. Flyers for underground parties. Dates for open lectures at a local university. An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. Buckets of paint on a layer of old newspapers. In a wider sense, this is actually my apartment and yours. Interesting. It's probably a little more useful. Suggestion. A politician is never off the clock.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
The man in business casual removes his cufflinks.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Monsieur Laclé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Hanging? What a drag. He seems like a cultured gentleman. You should ask him about the finer things.
Point at the bed. Before we go on, I absolutely have to inquire about this wonderful canopy.
Oh yes, my friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery. I believe they call this type of frame industrial. It's very comfy. That's really all I can tell you about it.
He forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
Oh, I wanted to talk about more things than just the canopy bed. Okay. You actually witnessed the lynching?
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
The man gives a solemn nod. Turn to the lieutenant. This is just the break we've been looking for.
Easy, detective. No need to jump to conclusions.
He eyes a spectacled man near the window, who smiles and spreads his hands. Start from the beginning, if you don't mind.
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
What do you mean, like in a play?
The lieutenant is already scribbling down notes.
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening.
Were you high or drunk?
I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well
Nods.
done, detective.
He nods to you. Who were they? Can you describe them?
I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very Martinez.
He pauses, looking for the right wording.
Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities.
How many of them were there?
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
It's what we have.
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
Were any of them huge? Like 200 kilograms huge?
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell.
We already determined that it was the Angus carrying the body. That was the 200 kilograms. What happened next?
I went back inside.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man.
Were they men? Women?
All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
I believe 7 of them are men, and then there's 1 woman, so it makes sense that you'd mostly hear men. What ethnicity were they?
I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent.
I believe that lines up with Hardy Boys from what we know of them. What happened next?
Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
What do you mean nothing happened? They lynched a guy.
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
So the gunshot definitely took place before hanging. You're right, that does seem strange.
I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late.
So let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself, did you?
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
It seems this wasn't the break you were hoping for. I think we have everything we need. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Villedroit.
The lieutenant says, closing his notebook.
Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM.
What's an official like you doing in Martinez?
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled.
He raises an index finger.
The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what are you doing here in this apartment?
Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
So you're some kind of bureaucrat.
Yes, as I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stability. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
He glances at his watch.
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the Moral Intern is joking or not.
What is this international community?
La Communauté Internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
And what do I call the coalition?
Your employer, technically speaking. The governing authority of Revachol. The RCM is but one part of this provisional administration.
What is the price stability?
It is the most important thing.
That doesn't tell me anything.
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Just sounds like economy stuff. Making sure there's no inflation so that it doesn't challenge the social quo.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Yeah.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stabilité works to keep inflation just below 2%.
Below 2% of what?
But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%.
You're not answering my questions at all.
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stabilité. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
Okay, sure. Give me a
A
leaflet.
sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the moral intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist.
They're basically just working really hard to keep the status quo.
But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the moral intern's commitment to transparency.
I've heard about this moral intern before, but I want to know more.
It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition.
So what I'm hearing is that we're moral intern people.
Doing one's job doesn't automatically make one anyone's bitch. Besides, there are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
Yeah, it's not necessarily good, but it's not necessarily bad either. It's just the status quo. Turn back to Sunday Friend. Are you a moralist?
But of course,
Am I a moralist? But why?
because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values.
Lieutenant, are you a moralist?
Me? I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintaining law and order in Ravachol.
That doesn't answer my question.
A very moralist answer.
But what is a normal, stable world?
The Occident is part of the normal world. Oranje, sur la clé.
Martinez doesn't seem very normal or stable to me.
Martinez? No. Martinez is something else.
What about the rest of Revachol? Is it part of the normal world?
Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
He gives you an approving nod. I don't think I'm a moralist. Moralism sounds incredibly boring. I want more action. Moralism is the ideology of foreign occupiers. Revachol must be governed by Revacholians. Democracy is a meaningless sham as long as the working class is under the boot heel of capital. It's like every time I'm talking to people, I'm choosing option D, none of the above. Is that moralism? Democracy is a meaningless sham as long as the working class is under the boot heel of capital.
Of course, the detective's personal views do not represent the views of the RCM.
The lieutenant clears his throat.
Ah, my friend. But the lesson of the revolution is that communism does not work.
It didn't work because the coalition crushed it violently.
Oh, yes, the big bad coalition crushed the revolution. Tell me, if the revolution was succeeding, would it have been crushed so easily? Are we really so bad for wanting compromise, peace, and prosperity on reasonable, achievable terms? Ask yourself that. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Tell me about Sur la Cliff.
What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
Darlings? That can't be an official designation.
What makes Revachol Sur la Clé's darling?
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sir Leclerc's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
Tell me about Orange.
Oranje is an exemplary nation who, as a core member of EPIS, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to Sur-la-Clé, Oranje is probably the most prominent member of the international community.
Which one of them is more EPIS?
As founding members, they are both very EPIS. Oranje carries a lot of political weight, while Sur-la-Clé takes care of the business side of things. Sur-la-Clé hosts the headquarters of the major EPIS institutions.
Okay, but outside of EPIS, what is Orange?
Oranje's economy is one of the most advanced in the world. It has successfully transitioned from heavy industry to advanced services and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the international community.
But that didn't tell you anything about Oranje.
Can't you just talk like a normal person?
About what?
Tell me about Orange. Just tell me what it's like there.
Oh, it's very urban and very well organized. Their streets are clean, their horse cars run on time, the people are polite and efficient. Like I said, they are an example for less emerged nations to follow.
Enough business. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you wish, officer.
Can you tell me about your friend?
Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
What's Kidra?
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
What do you mean?
That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
What is this EPIS thing you keep talking about?
EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see.
God, yes, sweet standardization, the backbone of rationality and commerce.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level.
Okay, but like, what does it stand for?
Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole.
No, what do the letters stand for?
It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level.
You don't even hear the words I'm saying, do you?
A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident.
Is it going to be like this place here?
You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy.
Is Revachol going to be part of EPIS?
It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure.
Except that candidate members never become full members, do they?
Because the more developed countries want the power over the lesser, the ones they view as lesser that come after them. Didn't you say that candidate members never become real members?
No, candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation.
Which, of course, is the whole crux of the Moral Intern, that pointing out the issues with the moralist, like, centralist approach is that it takes time, except it takes time and it never happens. It takes so much time and nothing ends up happening. Nothing changes.
But we were talking about my friend here, not politics.
How did you two even become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way.
Au contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too.
You still haven't told me who he is.
Sorry, who?
The man throws a quick glance at his watch. Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We were just talking about him.
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
Fine, but what's his real name?
Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
So all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts?
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
Which arts?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
Geez, he doesn't say anything, and he doesn't seem to know anything about his so-called friend. What are you doing in his apartment by yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
The man smiles, nodding to the window. What view? It's dark outside.
Listen.
He says, raising his hand.
The baby is crying in the neighboring apartment.
Someone's baby is crying.
No, listen.
He says again, looking outside.
The Insulindian Bay.
What about it?
This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen. But the million real view stays. You can't take that away.
He knocks on the balcony door, his face mirrored in the darkening glass. I was asking about your friend.
My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee.
A busy bee? What an odd choice of words.
What are you doing in his apartment by yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
Is it rude for your friend to leave you alone like this?
We're old friends. Nothing's taboo between us. He comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's very active.
I feel like they just, sleep together.
Kedra is a candidate member that it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
But that doesn't tell me anything about Kendra itself. Is it warm there, cold, something in between?
It's warm. It's also known for its mandarin trees and dust storms from Supramundi. Kedra's an emerging market, but it still has a long way to go. Maybe that's why my friend's menage decided to emigrate.
But I wonder if he's just like his sugar daddy. Just like a rich friend that he sleeps with.
I'm all ears, officer. I'm sorry to say I did. Because I did it?
Don't jerk my chain, paper jockey. You did it, didn't you?
What's the meaning of this? Is your colleague here trying to arrest me?
There is no meaning, sir. Please excuse my colleague. This case has been a great strain on his nerves.
Him's right. I'm sorry. I haven't been myself lately.
Well, I can certainly understand that. That hanging was a surreal... I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. That's when I understood.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious.
I went back.
Were you able...
Officer... Well, that's the Eventually, their shouts... You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late.
You didn't check your watch?
My watch? Yes, now I remember. It was 30 minutes past midnight, give or take.
He looks at his watch, as though noticing it for the first time.
No, I didn't.
It seems... I think we...
Of course. A moment. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Hold on, why can't we talk later?
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
Just look around the
Sure,
apartment.
go ahead. It's a beautiful space. Let me...
I think I got everything I could get, though. Just a moment. Sorry about that. Just had a quick phone call. Okay, let's see if anything else popped up, but...
Was there anything else? I'm sorry to say, Officer,
What do you mean?
it was just... I was on the balcony. That's when
Sounds...
I went back.
Were you with...
Officer, well, that's the event. I'm afraid.
About what time?
All I can... My watch. No,
It's in... I think...
of course. Anything I can do to... Of course.
Nothing important came out of that. Or at least... I feel like he knows more, but he's good at lying by just not saying anything. I mean, he's not lying, probably. It's just he's good at avoiding saying anything that... But, okay. Okay, so can I send Lieutenant Kitsuragi home with the body, even though it's 21:59? I just didn't want to be alone without him for too long. I like having him with me. He's my body.
The man is decomposing visibly now. Every hour, he looks less like a creature and more like a pile of intestines. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Ro. Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Yeah, I think I covered everything with him. Let's bag him, take him away. The lieutenant takes the body away. You work alone for the rest of the day.
All right.
He takes out a shiny black body bag and starts pulling the plastic over the dead man's face.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
Bag the corpse and drag it to the motor carriage. Leave. Bye-bye, Kim. Miss you already.
Stuck in the rain in a traffic jam, man. What's on your mind?
I heard that one of the drivers is a woman, but I don't think she's here. Do you know this lady driver?
I don't want to talk about that.
He shifts around, suddenly uncomfortable, then looks away. Why? Do you know something? What is it?
Man, I was hoping it isn't going to be her. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker. And I don't know where she is.
Who is this person? What's her name?
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the lady driver. She kept her name a secret. From me too. Now I see why.
I asked you who's conducting the drug trade. You said you don't know. Now you're saying you do?
I didn't, man. I told you I was hoping it's not her. That she wouldn't be mixed up in it.
It's true. We would of course lie. But a kind heart is tricky. Bah. Emotional rhetoric. He knew something and he didn't share it with you. That's a fact.
Who is she to you?
A friend? An acquaintance? I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay?
What does she look like?
A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way.
What color hair?
Blue and violet. Dyed. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
Then she may have dyed it again.
She probably has. When did she leave?
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad person. I know that much.
He looks you straight in the eye. I can't just let it go. It's part of a police investigation.
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down, she may not survive it. I can't have that on my conscience.
He shakes his head. You said she's troubled. How?
She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over. And you're looking for a way out.
She shared this with you?
Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her.
It's not snitching, it's just a few questions.
It's snitching, man. I know what it is.
I was told everyone's afraid of her. You're not?
I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me, too, that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her.
Did this violent life include drug trafficking?
Well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind.
Hold on. Her mind?
The way it worked. The trouble it was giving her.
When she left, did she leave her lorry behind?
Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were afraid of her. They'd be more than happy to rat her out.
He's right. There are other options. The raceman, for one. The grey-haired woman. Maybe she knows something. Wait, this guy says they're friends. Then, acquaintances. And he's okay with others ratting her out.
You're alright with others ratting her out? You just don't want your hands dirty? Put yourself in my shoes. I need this for another investigation too. Important, I can't blow it. She's a suspect and I need you to tell me where she is or I can't finish the investigation. Fine, I'll drop the matter for now. So you're alright with others ratting her out?
Fine. I don't want to be a butcher. And I don't want to be a knight either. I just want to be a person who can sleep at night. A little fame wouldn't hurt too.
I can't blow
You're not
it.
going to put a bullet in your head if you blow it, are you? Because she's on the edge, man.
I'm not gonna force Tommy.
Thank you, friend. Wow, this makes me feel like I should pick up smoking again. Would help with my rhymes, too.
I kinda wish I had Kim here for this, but I'll probably do a little bit without Kim. What? I can't interact with the shoes when the guy's not here to sell it? Okay, that's fair. Can't steal the shoes.
rusting control panel with this panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross. You pull the lever all the way up until nothing happens. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock to get across the canal some other way. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
Today is Tuesday. Okay. I wonder if the like glory people will be gone. Oh well, it looks like they're already going in, so may already be too late.
The woman still has her eyes fixed on the photograph in her hands. In the background, the radio plays. No response wherever this woman is.
Where am I? Who are you?
Like a magician recalling a subject from hypnosis, you've jolted her back to reality. Me? I'm the law around here.
Then I don't suppose you could tell me where we are, lawman. Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s.
Wait, what's so bad about the 50s?
The men have small jaws and everything is made out of plastic. Why do you need plastic when you can make the world out of amber?
She scoffs. Where else would you be then?
Back in Methka, during the time of the revolution. The sidewalks and cafes are filled with young people. I was on my way to see a new Boyadero picture starring Gabriel Buenguerro. Until you came along, that is.
The look she gives you is accusatory. Who is Gabriel Buenguerro?
This is Gabriel Buenguerro.
She shows you the photograph in the lavish amber frame.
A strikingly handsome man looks straight at you, his head crowned with a wide brim hat. His hair is dark as an oil slick, and his jaw the most perfectly chiseled thing you've ever seen.
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the aisles of cinema whenever he came on the screen. And schoolboys used to memorize all of his lines.
She leans back, savoring the world she's conjuring up.
In all likelihood, it's a world that's only ever existed in her mind.
So I take it you were in Mesk when you were young?
Someone was.
She nods as though her meaning were perfectly clear. Someone? Are these not your memories?
They are someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if it's me or not?
She gets gruff suddenly.
They're beautiful. That is all that matters. Beautiful and true. And they will win. They're coming for this, you know? All of this.
She looks around.
All of what? The world. The present.
Sorry to interrupt your dreaming, ma'am.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, lawman. It was early spring, and the man behind the black sun had just come out. The posters were 20 meters tall. Everything was golden.
Her eyes narrow and she appears to take your measure.
While you, people, were tearing each other apart over your petty little revolution, in Methk, it was a golden age.
The Republic of Mesk is a massive confederation on the Isola of Muindi, the world's largest state by territory. It's a petrostate, a constitutional monarchy, and, as of recently, an outcast due to its tilt to the far right.
Right, I have some other questions for you. Police questions.
Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
She settles back against the railing of her motor lorry. Behind her, mountains of memorabilia, photos, and knickknacks line the dashboard. What are you hauling?
Diamonds.
Diamonds, really?
Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was?
She says, grinning. Okay, but what are you really hauling?
Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine.
So you don't know what you're hauling in your own lorry?
I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
What if the cargo is contraband?
Then it's contraband, lawman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest. Lock me away like bad hand Hermenegildo.
Bad hand, Hermenegildos's bad hand, strangled 300 people. What can I say? Some people just really like strangling people.
I still don't really understand this whole Bodegueros thing.
Of course not. To truly understand the Boyadero, you need to listen to On the Western Plain.
The Boyadero, Boya for short, is a cowherder from upstream Magritte, the great steppes of northern Mesk. People like Mañana at the gates have turned it into an ideology of sorts.
Okay, what's that?
It's an old ballad about a young girl who falls in love with a daring Boyadero. He promises to marry her as soon as he returns from the Western Plain.
I'm guessing that doesn't happen.
Of course not. The Boyadero returns from the Western Plain a changed man. One night, as he and his beloved are out walking along the river Maigret, she pleads with him to give up his riding and settle down.
In the background, you can hear the orchestra swell as the screen fills with the maiden's imploring eyes.
I think I see where this is going.
So the Boyadero strangles his beloved and throws her body in the Magritte. Then he rides off, because the Western Plain is calling to him.
That's not where I thought that was going.
You have to understand. A true Boyadero needs a whole horizon to himself. He can't be tied down by man or woman. His beloved was selfish. She didn't know what it meant to love a Boyadero.
All right, are you the lady driver?
Did you just call me a lady, Herife?
I was told of a woman driver. You're the only woman here.
I'm not that either, Herife. I've gone too far from it all to remember what was between my legs. It doesn't work like that on the long haul.
So you're not the driver everyone is terrified of.
I'm only terrifying to small children and to those who used to know me.
Yeah, it's not her. Believe me.
Then who is the female driver I was told of?
How should I know? Do I look like I spend a lot of time with the other communers sniffing around when I have my movies to go to?
Why are you scary to the people who used to know you?
Because they can no longer recognize the person I once was.
I like that. You said long haul, that's...
The big ones, the trucks. There's no women and men there, it's all just...
She hums along, as if to a track on repeat.
In the middle of this town, there's a ghostly motorway. It takes all the people where they want to stay.
In the background, a quiet song seeps from her cabin into the air. You don't hear any vocals.
That's all I needed to know, thanks.
Oh, Sim.
The woman stares at you, her mind elsewhere now, on other matters. Before I came, you seemed away.
What do you mean?
You were in a dream, inactive, tuned out.
Yes? What about it?
Should you drive a lorry if you get like that?
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm one of the best communers around. I drive routes no one else will.
What routes?
Lomonosov's Land, Udashnaya Zemlya, the Western Plain.
She nods and closes her eyes again, letting her mind submerge.
The Transcatolia Magistral. You for 1A. Adestradas do Mirador. All the good ones. The deep trenches. Where the bluebirds fly.
She opens her eyes again and shudders. I'm something of an expert in blacking out. You should take better care of yourself.
You're right, Lowman. I'm the one who should take my health more seriously. Thank you for looking out for me.
A correct appraisal. You're quite shabby.
Yeah.
Is that all you woke me up to say?
You seem like a woman who knows a thing or two about drugs.
What do I need drugs for, Lowman? What I see, what I feel. The great adversary. No drugs can compare.
The adversary?
Yes. There is a protagonista and an adversario. I am on the side of the adversary. There's no coming back from that hole.
Those epithets are familiar somehow. The great adversary. The great unrest.
Where could I get my hands on an experience like that?
If you don't know,
She flicks her wrist in a general of casual dismissal.
Maybe if she thought you're corrupt.
Everett said me. Place finger on the side of your nose and tap twice.
who the fuck is Irrat?
The union boss?
Ah, and what do I care about the union boss? He's no Gabriel. He's no Franco Negro. He's not even Hermenegildo the Hound.
Okay, let me put this another way. Are you smuggling drugs through Terminal B?
Maybe. Probably not. Makes no difference to me either way.
You said earlier you don't know what your cargo you're hauling. Could it be drugs?
Just this month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramiriza to Grad, on the U41A. What do you think they take from Saramiriza to Grad, Lowman?
I don't know, that's why I'm asking you.
It's diamonds, Lowman, obviously.
She grins. I didn't ask you about diamonds, did I? If you had to guess, who do you think is smuggling drugs around here?
Easy. It's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one I can see from here.
She squints across the square.
That's correct. There is no visibility of any of the others.
I didn't ask you about the diamonds, did I? I don't care about that.
Diamonds are good for you, Lowman. You should try them sometime. Make yourself pretty like Eva de Zoras.
Okay, if you're not involved with the drug trafficking, then why are you still waiting here?
Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music, or the seagulls. Look at all the colors and the futures of this world. It's a good palate cleanser, this jamboree. Or I can just relax and let my mind carry me back where it will, to the Great Plains. Yes, go. Enough jamboree. I need to get back to Mesque.
Her voice trails off.
The 15th Indo tribe. Because there was. The 15th Indo tribe was comprised of 8 kids from Forberg and North Jamrock, running from wild dogs in the valley, hiding scents under rocks, and stealing clothes off clotheslines, and sometimes even the copper wiring of phone lines. You may have been one of them. This must be a childhood memory. The 15th Indo tribe was your Indo tribe, set to rule in Celinda. The rest of the kids are dead now. Car accidents and drug overdoses. Only you remain.
Plus 10 cents for every green orb clicked. Oh, I should have gotten that earlier. Learning cap for Savor raised to 6. Okay, well that's pretty good. Need money. There's a lot of them. Okay. Well, I think I'm pretty much gonna end it here. Well, I'm probably gonna run back to the whirling and then end it here. So I don't think I have anything else to do. Don't really want to do a lot without Kim.
You see a heavy steel door. The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. Old cobalt paint. It leads to a side building, adjacent to this one. The old building next to this, half ruined. Whatever is behind it must be older. The door does not budge.
I wonder if I need a key for it. If so, where's the key? Okay. But that's good. I'm probably next time I'm probably going to next time I'm probably going to read some of the books that I have picked up until it's time to go to bed, and then go to bed and probably have another nightmare. And then when Kim's back, oh yeah, well, let's see, when, come on, close the water lock on Wednesday. That will open up a new area and hopefully give me loads more things to investigate. And the gloves are over there. Get back to Everett about opening the door. Find the working class husband. Murder weapon. Oh, I need to take a bath tonight too. Find the cryptozoologist is supposed to be behind them too. Oh, and I need to call back Alice for the armor. But yeah, doing pretty well. But only day 2. So talk to you next time.